Hello everyone, this is Etsy Shadow and in this video I am going to demonstrate that how you can crack hashes by using Hashcat tool. So let's get started. So today we have total 5 hashes of different types and we will try to understand that how different type of hashes can be processed and cracked with Hashcat and what is the workflow and syntax for it. So before cracking any hash, you should know the type of hash. And to know that, we have some tools. One of them is hash identifier that is built in into Kali Linux. And there are hefty amount of online hash analyzers as well. As of now, I am using this tunnelsub.com hash analyzer. So by using two tools, we can ensure that the results are going to be accurate. So first, let's try to identify the type of hash. So to open hash identifier, you need to simply type hash hyphen identifier and hit enter. Then you need to paste your hash. So here is the hash and hit enter. As we can see, the possible first result is MD5. Let's just verify that, cross check it from hash analyzer online tool as well. So yeah, it could be MD5 or MD4, but since the hash identifier is telling us that it is MD5, so right now we are going for MD5. But in case it does not works, then we can also try with MD4. Now in Hashcat, there is a thing called module. So for each hash, there is a specific module number. And you will need to identify that specific module number before trying to crack it. So there is a simple trick to identify the module. All you need to do is just type hashcat and then -h, then use a pipe to pipe it with grep and type the name of that particular hash type, that is MD5 in our case. So as we can see, the module number for MD5 is 0. Since our hash is raw and it does not have any kind of salt, or it's not of any different type, it's just simply MD5, so we are going to use this 0 module number. Now next thing is we will need to store that hash into any file. To do that, we need to use echo command, and what we can do here is we can simply paste the hash and save it into any file. So let's say the file name is hash.txt. As soon as we hit enter, it is saved into the file, and now we are good to go with running hashcat to crack the final hash. Now the syntax is, first we need to type hashcat, then -m, then name the module, that is 0, and then we need to name the file that contains the hash, and then we need to specify the directory where our word list is stored for brute force. So in our instance, I'm going to use rocku.txt, that is a famous word list, and as of now it is stored in my root directory. And now all we need to do is just hit enter. So as we can see, in seconds our hash is cracked, and the secret that was stored inside the hash was easy. Now moving on to the second hash. Let's use hash identifier first and paste that hash. As we can see, hash identifier is telling us that the type of hash is SHA-1. Let's cross verify the result with online tool. So it's telling us the same thing. Now all we need to do is just identify the module for that particular hash by using this specific command. Just name it like SHA-1. And as we can see, For a raw hash, the module number is 0. Next, we need to store up this hash using echo command into a file. Let's store it on hash.txt. One thing you need to make sure that there are no white spaces into the hash, because if Hashcat identifies any kind of white spaces or something else, so it's going to give us token length exception, that is the error. To avoid any errors, we should just make sure that there are no white spaces. Since we know the module name and file is stored, now we are good to go with cracking the hash. So let's use hashcat. Module number is 100 and the name of file is hash.txt, and as usual we are going to use rocq. Let's hit enter. So as we can see, the hash is cracked and the string was password 123 that was encrypted. Moving on to the next hash. So before proceeding, I would like to share a great advice with all of you. For the instance, I'm using a virtual machines for the demonstration purpose. However, it is always recommended that if you have a dedicated GPU into your system, then you should use your base operating system for running Hashcat. So it will utilize your GPU and it will run faster for better efficiency. Now, third hash, first let's use hash identifier. Let's paste the hash. As we can see, it's telling us that the type of hash is either MD5 or MD4. So we will try both. Now in online hash analyzer, let's paste the same hash to see what it is. And as we can see, it's also telling us the same result, that it is either MD5 or MD4. So let's first just go with MD5 and then later we will move to MD4. So we know that for MD5 the module number is 0, and similarly we need to store that file. First let's store the hash into the file, otherwise it will not work. And now we are good to go with the attack. So hashcat module 0, then specify the name of the file and then word list. Let's just hit enter. So since the hashcat is giving us status as exhausted, that means there is some kind of error. The most possible error that could be here is the identification of hash type. So since both of the tools were claiming that it could be MD5 or MD4, so now we can test for MD4 as well. Let's try to fetch the module number for MD4. Let's grep MD4. As you can see, the module number for MD4 is 900. So let's try to use that in hashcat. Module number 900 and then hash.txt is our file where hash is stored, and we have rocq.txt as a word list. As soon as we hit enter, yeah, it took some time and it just cracked the hash, and the value of hash was eternity 22. So there could be different scenarios that why sometimes hashcat refuses to crack the hash and throws out error as exhausted. There could be another possibility that your word list does not contain that specific keyword. So in order to achieve the result, you will need to use different word list. Now we are at our fourth hash. Let's use hash identifier. Paste it here. So it's telling us that the type is MD5 or MD4. Again, the same. Let's use the online tool. So same results, MD5 or MD4. So now let's try it with MD5. First we need to store the hash, that is echo, and then store the hash to hash.txt. Now we will run hashcat module 0 and then followed by name of the file and then word list. As we can see, it's saying exhausted. That means the first possibility that hash type could be incorrect. So let's try to use hash type for MD4, that is 900. It was 900. I need to just, yeah, it is 900. As we can see, it again exhausted. That means it's neither MD5 nor MD4. So let's try some different combinations. So this is 100% possible case that sometimes you will face this situation where the tools even fail to work, but you should not lose interest and work with other types. So we have this least possible hashes list. Also, you can use some different online tools as well that may vary the results. So let's try to go with NTLM. Let's see if it works or not. Let's try to find out the hash module for NTLM using grep. As we can see, for the NTLM module number is 1000. Let's try to use that in Hashcat. Hashcat module 1000 followed by the name of the file and then word list. Let's hit enter. And as we can see, the hash is cracked and here is the cracked value. So definitely you will need to also do some trial and error in order to identify that what is the correct type of a hash. But with time you will also get to know that there is a specific format associated with each type of hash type, and you will get to know about that as well. So now moving on to the last hash that we have here. Let's try to identify it first using hash identifier. Hash identifier. Paste the hash, hit enter. As we can see, it is telling that it could be SHA-256 or Havel-256. Let's check it with online hash analyzer as well. So this is giving us some different result. It is telling us that this is a SHA-256. So let's trust this one. You could also go with the hash analyzer result, but I'm going with the online tool. Anyways, if the result is incorrect, then I have to retry with different formats like SHA-256. So this is how it's done. Let's try to find out the module for this particular hash. So hashcat -h, and then we need to grep SHA-2 256. So we have module number 1400 for this particular hash. Now let's quickly store this hash into the file. And now let's run hashcat to crack it finally. Module is 1400 and the name of the file is hash.txt and the word list is rocku.txt. As soon as you will hit enter, the attack is executed. And as we can see, the final hash is cracked as well. So the result is let me. So this is pretty much it for the videos. If you have any doubts around this particular video, then definitely you can ask me in comment section. This is not the whole scope of hash cracking. There are more advanced techniques that are associated with it. So you should do your own research on that, and definitely I'll try to make some videos on those as well. So goodbye.